Hello, folks. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome to Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor.
That's me.
That is you.
It is me. That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm not virtual. I'm really here.
He's here.
Yeah.
Wait, we're supposed to say that next.
Intact. Next. Now we're going to do next.
I'm Carl Christensen. I'm sitting across the desk from the one and only Dr. Zorba Pastor.
Only me.
He's right there.
One. That's right.
That's the guy. You want to talk about what we're going to do today?
Yes.
I bet you want to know.
I do.
Today, all right, we're going to look at a new study that shows giving your kid a smartphone by age 12 leads to a higher risk of depression, obesity, maybe even sleep issues.
Really important. This is a major study that's coming out. Came out from the journal Pediatrics. You're going to want to hear about this because it really talks about how smartphones can make kids dumb, but more than that can cause problems. Good study.
Yeah. Very good study. We'll take a listener phone call, a listener email. Zorba's going to give us an update on his horse riding adventures. If you've been following the Facebook page, you've seen that maybe. We're also going to...
Zephyr, that's the name of the dog.
Zephyr,
the horse.
Yeah, the horse.
Dog is the horse.
We might hear from my mom, who's going to share a mom joke.
Yeah,
she's
great.
Fun.
She's great. She should go on tour.
She should. Are we doing a live show now? Are we going on? Are we taking this thing on the road?
She ought to go on the road. She could do a tour. That's right.
She'd be great. And Zorba's going to dig into some medical quackery in our Quack Tales segment. Those are always fun.
Quack.
That gets Zorba to do that every time. All right, the phone number to call anytime if you have a question for the good doc, 608-492-9292.
That's right. It's 608-492-9292. And before I talk about this thing with smartphones, I want to tell you something. You know, I try to make a quack, like a duck.
Yeah,
so I've got a duck. His name is Bailey.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to him. I said, Bailey, if you just say one word, I will give you the best food you could ever have for the rest of your life. Chicken and liverwurst and everything else. And I looked at him. I said, all you have to do is say one word. It could be hi or it could be next. And I've really been talking to him. But you know what? He just hasn't come out with it. He's a smart dog. All he has to do is say one word, and he will live better than any dog ever lived in the entire world, but I can't get him to say a word.
If you could choose that word, what would it be? If it was any word?
Well, it wouldn't be woof.
No, not.
It wouldn't be woof. It would love.
Yeah, there you go.
Love.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that recording. There's a dog who says, I love you.
Love.
Isn't that like, I love you.
Yeah, no, right. No, I'm done with it. Or he could look at me because I'm alpha dog. He could say alpha. Oh. But I assume it's only going to be a one, it's going to be one syllable. But the answer is it hasn't worked. Right. So since that doesn't work, let me tell you what I do want to talk about.
Where are we here?
So there's a whole thing with smartphones and kids. We know that. We know. The real question is there an age difference? Young children develop amazingly different. Carl, you have 10 children?
Yeah, 10 of them, and they're two kids. They're 7 and 10. And I wanted to say, I've been waiting for a study like this to come out because my 10-year-old he's been begging for a smartphone. And we're at that age where a lot of his friends are already getting smartphones.
Yeah, it's a whole
and
thing.
Some aren't. And so there's all this conflict with that.
There are a lot of things.
So I'm like, all right, hey, check it out. Check this study out. There's science now behind.
Yeah. Well, there is science. So the real issue is, what do these smartphones do to their developing brain? Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah.
Do they do something? Do they not do something? And it turns out, according to the study, which is a really good study, they do. There's a risk. So I'm going to tell you what the risk is. Lack of sleep, obesity, depression. We'll talk about the data. Mm-hmm. Lack of sleep, obesity, depression. None of those are really good. And after the age of 12, the risk seems to go down. But before the age of 12, it's a risk. So here's the study. 10,500 participants, boys and girls, in a study called the Adolescent Brain Cognition Development Study. It's an ongoing study out of the University of California in Berkeley and Columbia University, and they're looking at how kids develop because they want to know about this. So researchers analyzed the data on kids 9 and 16 collected from the year 2016 to 2022. They looked at smartphone ownership and at the age of when a child or a teen got their first smartphone. And here's what they found. The team found that compared to 12-year-olds who didn't own a smartphone, that means they didn't have one before that, kids who owned a smartphone before they were 12 were 1.3% more likely to get depression. In other words, 30% more likely to have depression. That's a big number.
That's significant.
They were 40% more likely to be overweight. And they were 6 times more likely not to be able to fall asleep and have insufficient sleep, which then affects how they learn in school, which then affects other things. If you are overweight when you're 12 years of old, if you're not getting enough sleep when you're 12 years old, and if you may have depression, before and at the age of 12 years old, that's not a good way to start your child actually learning things when they're a teenager. And I think this is really, really important, because I think what we have to find that before the age of 12 or before the age of 13, they don't get a smartphone.
Yep. Do you hear that, Otis?
I hear that, Otis, right? I hear that, Otis, right? Who's not listening to this.
That's my
smart
10-year-old.
But this is where, I'm a parent. I mean, I have 4 kids. They were all perfect. They never said a bad word to us. Never gave us any trouble at all.
Of course.
They were the Walt Disney children. They were painted like that. They're 4 kids. They pushed you. That's what children do.
But they weren't begging for smartphones. Because that was
no,
they weren't
but
out
you know
when
what they were
kids.
begging for? They were begging for Nintendos.
Video games, yeah.
We didn't give them Nintendos.
Yeah, my parents didn't give me that either. And I was begging for that too.
We decided with the Nintendos, we limited the amount of TV. This is awful. What they did at other kids' houses, that's okay. We didn't say you can't go to so-and-so's house because they have a Nintendo.
Yeah,
that's
my parents
okay.
are the same way. Right, you can go play it
over there.
over
They can go
there.
play at somebody else's house.
At Ross's
but then
house
it's
or
not
Mike Free's house.
What's Ross like now?
Ross is my friend.
What's
what is he
doing
like now? I don't know what Ross is. Hey, Ross, you listening? What are you doing right now?
Why don't you Google Ross and see if he's okay?
I know what my friend Mike Free is doing right now.
What's he doing?
He's a scientist.
Oh, he's a scientist.
Yeah, he's a
and
scientist.
he had a Nintendo.
I think he had Nintendo. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, but my parents are like, go to Mike's and play Nintendo. I'm not going to buy you Nintendo.
Let's go back to the smartphones.
Back to smartphones.
Smartphones or smart. Do not give your child a smartphone before the age of 12. You will get pushback. When will you get it? Before the age of 12. 8, 9, 10, 11. They'll be telling you that all their friends have smartphones. Believe me, all their friends do not have smartphones. There are smart parents like you out there, and they think every single friend has a smartphone, but they're not. Now, I'm not saying parents who give their kids smartphones before the age of 12 are dumb.
No.
That's not
Everyone
the right
makes
thing.
their decisions.
But I think it's incumbent upon parents to realize that if you're raising your child properly in this day and age, that a smartphone and when they can use it is part of good parenting, just like you treat them to be polite, just like you treat them to say please and thank you, just like you make sure that they're eating the right food, just like you make sure they're getting enough sleep, just like you curate and make sure that their friends are good, wholesome friends to be with, just like you make sure they engage in sports and they do well in school. There's a lot to parenting. And part of that parenting is no smartphone before the age of anybody? 12.
If you have a question for the good doc, you can call our hotline anytime at 608-492-9292. That's 608-492-9292.
And you can email us. I love answering emails.
Do that.
It's Ask Dr. Zorba, spell it out, askdrzorba@gmail.com. Email me. I'll answer it. I love answering those emails. Go to our website, drzorba.org, and you can connect with everything in there. But I love answering emails. Send an email. I'll answer it. Well, not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time.
Yeah, and we might use it on the podcast.
Time. We might use it on the podcast.
Right.
We love emails.
Yep. All right, let's go to the phones now. Let's try to help out a caller from Springfield, Missouri. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm just fine, thank you.
So how can I help you?
Yes, I mentioned to Carl that I had a lot of itching. Now I have type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
Do you think there is a connection?
Well, there can be a connection, but itching can be produced by a lot of things. I mean, so let's talk a little bit. Do you have their urticaria? Those are bumps. They look like mosquito bites. Do you have bumps that look like mosquito bites? Okay. Question number two. What sort of soap do you use when you shower? Okay.
Well, let's see. Probably Dove.
Dove. Okay, because Dove is good. Dove is a good soap. You don't want to use Dial, Lifebuoy, any of the soaps that are deodorant soaps. How often do you shower every week?
Oh, my shower is very poor functioning. Many times I just do a sponge bath.
Okay, but that's very good. It turns out that people shower too much, they use the deodorant soap, it dries out their skin, and then they wonder why they're itching. So you don't have that. And frankly, sponge baths are fine. Americans have gotten used to showering since the shower was invented, which actually was back in the 1890s. It has taken over, and Americans feel they have to get up in the morning and shower, just get all the grime, even though they don't have any grime. Carl, do you shower every morning?
I shower most days. It is rare when I don't shower on a day, but it's kind of it feels weird to not shower on a day. But I know that's too much.
Do you feel grimy? Do you feel grimy?
Maybe I feel like it's more about waking up for me. I need to just like recharge.
Is it a hot shower or a cold shower?
I've been doing mostly hot showers, but sometimes lately I've been trying the cold shower. Like finish with a cold shower.
You mean you start with a hot shower and then you make it cold?
Yeah, then slowly bring it down.
Ice cold?
Ice till you get to like ice cold. See how long you can handle it, and then turn it off. And then it feels great. It really gets your blood going. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's like a cold plunge kind of thing.
Who wants to do a
You
cold
don't like
plunge? I have a hot tub. I do a hot plunge every morning. I do not do a cold plunge. Cold is not my metaphor.
Anyways, no one wants to hear about Carl's showering.
We're getting. I don't know. Maybe the little cartoons that will come out. So. The reality is now, medications, I don't think it's a medication adversity in terms of an allergic reaction to medicine, because if it were an allergic reaction, you would have these little bumps. What are you on for your diabetes?
Well, not much. I can tell you my primary medications are lisinopril for
blood
hypertension and atrial fibrillation medication. Eliquis is, yes.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, nothing else.
Okay. So I've got a suggestion. I don't think the itching are from either of those two meds. One of the things that you want to do is you want to go to the store. You want to go into the cosmetics section of your local drugstore, and you want to find a body cream, a moisturizing cream that you can put over your body that is not too sticky. Okay, you want to have something that's aesthetically pleasing. The creams are all different, and people fill them in different ways. Cetaphil is an excellent company, CETAPHIL, I think that's how they pronounce it. Cetaphil is a non-allergic cream and lotion. And what I would do is I would put the cream or the lotion, not tacky, over your body and see how that works. The other one that you can use is something called Aquaphor, AQUAPHOR. And again, it's a little bit tackier, and put it on, and this will keep the moisture in your body, because part of this is probably moisture. And the final thing is, do you have a vaporizer at home that you use when you have a cold?
No, I have never. The way that I got vapor was from an Air Force flight physician's recommendation years ago. Get it in your shower, the steam.
In the steam. Do you have?
Let me say I'm holding a medication that is a VA prescription. Mm-hmm. It is
triamcinolone.
Right,
triamcinolone. Triamcinolone is an excellent steroid medication for you to put over your body. I would use that for the times you're bothered, but I would use the Aquaphor or Aquaphor, Eucerin, or Cetaphil products, any one of those three. And if they fail, then you go to the triamcinolone. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, make sure your bedroom, the reason I mentioned about the vaporizer is a third of our life is spent in the bedroom, roughly.
Yes.
And so you want to make sure that room is not too dry, especially in the wintertime. And sometimes getting an ultrasonic vaporizer will moisturize that room so it's not too dry and you may not itch as much.
Well, I take your advice very cordially. How about that?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thanks, and thanks for listening to our podcast. That's our new podcast.
I don't know anything about podcasts. To me, pods mean Mendel and genetics.
the beans.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at
that. Well, thanks for calling. You take care. Stay well.
Thank you. Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much for that call at 608-492-9292. You can call anytime. Leave us a voicemail, 608-492-9292. Okay, Zorba. Let's do the part of the podcast where my mom gets involved. And
I love your mom.
You do, yeah. You've met her a couple times over the years.
Yeah.
But now you hear her kind of more often on the podcast because she shares with us mom jokes, right?
That's right.
Which are much better than
she's an entertainer.
She is. Whether she likes it or not, she is an entertainer. And she's got some great jokes. So let's do mom jokes.
Mom Jokes.
What was Michael Douglas overheard yelling at this year's Kentucky Derby? Steed is good.
Steed is good. Okay, I love explaining my mom's jokes. All right, so Michael Douglas played Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. Did you ever see Wall Street?
I did. Yeah.
His big quote from that was, greed is good.
Greed is good. Oh,
so he's at the Kentucky Derby, and he's watching all these horses. God, my mom's got a weird sense of humor. Steed is good.
But she's a voracious reader, and she watches a lot of movies. That's what counts.
Huge Michael Douglas fan.
Thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Sandra.
I should say thanks, Sandra, and you should say thanks, Mom.
Let's stick with horses. Let's stick with horses, okay?
Let's move on.
Let's talk about the Facebook page. You post all the time on the Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor Facebook page. You post photos of your travels, what you're eating, all kinds. Maybe some throwbacks to like your childhood photos. There's so many photos on there. Check it out, listeners.
I do. My Facebook page is great.
It's great.
People comment. They love it.
A lot of comments. People love it. So we're going to do some of those comments. Recently, you posted a photo with your horse, Zephyr.
That's right, Zephyr.
Who you're training with.
Yeah,
learning how to
training
ride.
with. I don't own Zephyr. A woman named Laura owns Zephyr. Kate is my teacher, and I'm not afraid of horses anymore. And Zephyr is an older horse, and I'm an older guy, and he does a good job. And I trotted, and then I fast trotted.
Nice.
And I fast trotted, and I trotted without holding on. That's a big thing because you really hold on with your legs.
Okay.
Hold on with your legs. So I'm learning it. I will eventually, I'm going to be a wrangler. I'm not going out west to be a wrangler. I want to be a wrangler. I got the ultimate. I'm going to go like on a cattle drive and be a wrangler. That's what I want to do. That's my... Yeah, it's not a bucket list. It's what. Can you see me on a cattle drive?
I mean,
with the horse
yeah, I could see that.
Chaps the whole
for
thing.
sure.
You know,
yeah, like City Slickers. Maybe?
Actually, it would be like City Slickers.
All right, you posted.
That was a good movie.
You posted the photo of you and Zephyr. It's a great picture. Zephyr looks like a really cool horse.
He is cool.
You wrote, with Zephyr, the horse I'm training with, he's snuggling, looking for some hard candy I have in my pocket. Yeah. I'm addicted to the sport now.
Yeah,
and you are.
right.
So I can tell you light up. You're really into it. We got a lot of comments on it. I'll just read a few. Becky wrote, there's a good reason equine therapy is so successful. Our horses keep us young. Do you feel like that's true?
Totally. Absolutely. I feel like a little cowboy, like a little kid cowboy. I do. I'm on the horse. I feel like I'm a little cowboy. It's so strange. I'm back to my childhood when I was never a cowboy. Yeah.
Charles wrote, the first time a horse snuggled me, I was speechless and I fell in love. Lucy who it looks like she owns Lucy's Soap from Mondovi, Wisconsin. Not a sponsor. Just wanted to give her a shout out. Looks like nice goat milk soap. Lucy's Soap. Lucy wrote,
Lucy, if you're hearing us, send us some soap.
Yeah, there you go. Lucy says, I rarely go anywhere without horse treats in my pocket. Horses keep us young and engaged. She agrees. Nice. Carol wrote, try peanuts, shells and all. They love them, and it's a healthy legume.
Peanuts.
You could try that. Okay. Would you try that with Zephyr? Maybe peanuts in the pocket?
Well, I want to get rid of my rock candy. Okay. Now, I have a question. Would you rather chew on a peanut or on something really sweet?
Oh, it's a horse?
It's a
horse. They love sugar cubes, right?
Yeah, but this is, it's
like
a hard candy.
It's hard candy,
it's the
right?
hard peppermint candy.
Oh, it's peppermint. Interesting.
Okay. You know those round discs that have red in them?
Classic.
That are, that
striped.
are ultra processed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. They last as long as Little Debbie, I'm sure. Finally,
yeah. Where's Little Debbie? I don't see her.
We'll bring her out another episode. Finally, Sarah.
She's resting.
Yeah.
She's resting somewhere.
She's in the bomb shelter. Sarah and Madison posted a photo of her horse, and you can check that out, listeners, on the Facebook page. And she wrote, here's my guy. Congrats on taking up riding. Here, I'm showing Zorba that Sarah's horse. It's a beautiful horse.
What a beautiful horse.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned to respect horses, and I can be around them. That was my goal. I had a goal 2 years ago that I wanted to do something like this, my New Year's resolution. I have to do my New Year's resolutions. I haven't yet figured them out yet, but I've got my structure. But I'm not going to put them up. People comment on my New Year's resolution. They comment on a lot of things. The good and the bad. Send those comments. Yeah, I don't get many insults. I don't think I get any
people
insults.
Are really kind on Facebook.
Really
generally, there's once in a while there's a stinker, but mostly it's good.
Stinker.
This one's kind of funny. I'll close with I don't know, stinker. I guess that's a bad comment.
I think it's a good comment. I just wouldn't use the word stinker. I'd use another word that begins with an A.
Okay. We'll just leave that to imagination. So, Zorba, you recently posted a photo of you and I in the studio recording our first podcast episode.
We did.
That was cool. Right. We got a lot of comments on that. A A lot of them were asking about my guitars and amplifiers that were in the background, so we tried to answer those questions. There's kind of music gear all over the studio here. One of the comments jumped out at me, and it's from Rick W., who wrote, "I'm just waiting for Zorba to drop F-bombs on the podcast." Do you think it'll ever happen? I don't know if it'll ever happen.
No, I don't think so. WTF is as close as
that's fine. It's got to be in a natural situation.
Yeah. Well, then we would beep. We
could
beep. I could drop it. We could beep.
We don't need to beep. We're a podcast.
No, but we could still beep.
We don't need to beep.
But when there's a beep, you know what's going on.
Right.
It's like, oops, didn't mean to say that.
Beep, yeah. Anyways, go to the Facebook page anytime. Check it out. Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor. You could also call us anytime at 608-492-9292.
And then we've got a website, drzorba.org. That's Dr. Zorba, spell it out, .org. And we love emails. I love to answer them, and we love those phone calls. Just Coffee Cooperative is a worker-owned, fair trade, and organic coffee roasting cooperative in Madison, Wisconsin, dedicated to a model of commerce based on transparency, respect for labor, and environmental sustainability.
That's right, Zorba, and we both love their coffee, and we drink it all the time.
Absolutely.
One ingredient, no flavors, no additives, just coffee.
Use code ZORBA10 for 10% off your entire order on their website, www.justcoffee.coop. Just Coffee Cooperative, justice from the grounds up.
All right, Zorba, let's take a listener email. The following question came from Simeon in southwestern Wisconsin, who wrote, Dr. Zorba, I've enjoyed your radio show for many years, and now the podcast. I love the banter between you and Carl, the wealth of knowledge, and simply the joy for life you exude.
Oh, how nice.
You are a role model for the rest of us. That's very nice.
Thank you.
I'm 51.
They really are very nice. I really take these.
It charges you right up, doesn't it?
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It really does mean a lot.
They continue, I'm 51 and have been treating central sleep apnea for 4 years with ASV machine, adaptive servo ventilation.
Okay.
It was incredibly difficult to get used to the machine. In fact, for nearly a year, I got very little sleep, but I persisted when my doctors insisted it was critical to my long-term health, and now I can't sleep without it. For anyone struggling to use these machines, stick with it. My question is, every time I replace the mask and tubing, I have a noticeable plastic chemical odor that persists for a few days. I understand there is research showing exposure to microplastics may not be great for us long term, and Philips CPAP machines were recalled due to the release of toxic compounds.
Right.
I'd like to live a healthy life to a very old age and try to do everything I can to facilitate that. Are you aware of any research on exposure to plastic volatiles in the air as may be occurring with this machine?
Well, it's really a good question. So, you get into a new car, it has a new car smell.
Oh, sure.
What's it coming from?
New car smell. There's even an air freshener you can buy that's labeled new car smell.
New car smell, yeah.
Well, it's shaped like a tree. I don't know. That's weird.
But, it's stuff. Those are the volatile chemicals in the car. You get it and you associate that with the new car. And in fact, like you said, you could buy an air freshener which is not the same.
Yeah.
But, we like, it's a new car. It smells like a new car. What do you mean it smells? I mean, the smell doesn't drive the car.
Yeah.
So, I'm talking about the fact that we're around volatile things all the time. I don't know of any research that shows that it's bad for you. The problem is when but the problem is you've got to use those hoses for a period of time before that smell is going to go away. So there's no clear answer, but the answer is without the machine, you're worse off. So I know if I had sleep apnea, I would just have to use the new equipment because it works. And I would say, well, I've got a question about it, but I know what's going to happen if I don't use my sleep apnea machine. By the way, recent research, really important research out of the VA showed that people who had sleep apnea, which is a lot of the population, who didn't use the machine were twice as likely to develop Parkinsonism over their lifetime. And it especially was important the first 2 years when the diagnosis was made. So when you have sleep apnea, what happens is you have periods of time when the oxygen level in your body drops, and probably some of the neurons in your brain, we know that it increases the risk of heart attack and stroke, but some of the neurons in your brain in an area called the substantia nigra, which really is where the where Parkinsonism occurs, may also then begin to fail, and then you develop Parkinsonism, and that's a whole other issue. And it's a whole other reason if you have sleep apnea, to use your machine, work with your sleep apnea specialist if it doesn't work, and make sure you stay on top of it.
It's interesting. This brought up, when you get a new, like a mattress or sometimes a couch or a new chair or recliner or something, there's definitely like a manufacturing smell to those products. Yeah. And they, you're supposed to, I guess, sometimes leave them outside to off gas.
Right. Yeah, that's
Do you ever do that?
Yeah, no.
You're fine with that. Okay.
No. How about a new child? Would you leave a child
they
outside
off gas all the
so
time.
they could off gas?
Yeah.
You could leave them outside for a while so they get the off gas.
I like where you're going with that.
They have their own smell.
Yeah. Okay, Zorba. Throughout the history of medicine, we've seen countless contraptions and elixirs claiming to cure ailments and professing miraculous health benefits. And we still do, of course.
Of course.
So let's tromp through the murky tunnel of medical quackery. It's a tunnel, right? In the segment we call Quack Tales. Quack Tales. I tried to do the harmony. I don't know if I got it. All right, Zorba, this quackery tip, this came from a listener named Robert who emailed. He sent us information about a device called Abrams Oscilloclast. Tell us about this device and this man, Abram.
We looked at it. So, 1863, he died in 1924. He was an American physician well known for inventing machine. He had the Oscilloclast, he had the Radioclast, and he also had the Dynamizer.
That sounds
The Dynamizer. Now he, by the way, he got his MD from Cooper College in New York. By the way, that college lost all their accreditation.
What happened to Cooper?
No, not the college, the medical college.
Oh, okay.
Because it really didn't teach medicine. It just gave degrees out at that time for things like that. Mm-hmm. So when a guy named Flexner came through, they said, no, this is really not a medical college. But he got it. He served on the teaching class in the college for 14 years, basically, until it was decertified. 5 years, he was the chair of clinical medicine and a demonstrator in pathology. Okay. In other words, he could look at dead things and say, this is dead.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Good to do. And then he was a professor. And he was considered a talented young man, moved to San Francisco, head of the Medical Chirological Society, which was a combination of medicine and chiropractic, and did a bunch of other things. So let me tell you about the
Dynamizer. This guy had credentials.
He got a lot of credentials. Yeah. So the Dynamizer looked something like a radio, and he claimed that he could know any disease from a single drop of blood, or alternatively from the subject's handwriting, not just the blood. He performed the diagnosis on dried blood samples sent to him on pieces of paper in envelopes through the mail. Of course, he charged for every one of them. Apparently, he claimed he could even conduct medical practice over the telephone with his machines and could find personality characteristics without ever meeting a person. The Dynamizer was big business. It cost $200, which, by the way, in today's, we looked it up, in today's that would be $4,000.
Okay.
And was leased for another, few $100s monthly. And if you signed a contract, it was wonderful because it never closed and you couldn't get rid of the contract. He finally widened his claim to really be able to tell how long you were going to live. Now, the Dynamizer there were operators. They gave alarming diagnoses of what they had. You had, for instance, one diagnosis he would give you is bovine syphilis.
Ooh, that doesn't sound fun.
It meant you got syphilis from a cow.
Yeah, none of that's good.
No, it implied that you and the cow we're friends in a biblical way.
There you go.
Wherever that came from.
Yep.
Bovine syphilis. There were 3,500 practitioners in 1921 using the Dynamizer.
Wow.
All of them raking in the money.
Leasing out these machines.
It had a few little wiring, a few resistors with the machines. And, when he died, I don't know what he was worth, but he was worth more than when he was born.
All right, Zorba, I'm going to put you on the spot. Quackery.
Okay.
I have not prepped him, folks, for this. So if you were to think off the top of your head right now, What is some quackery that we're seeing right now?
You know, the
Current
quackery is
times.
in Washington.
Okay.
Right now, we have modern quackery. The quackery is in Washington. The quackery is that Tylenol in pregnancy causes autism. Quackery. It's that children's vaccines should be stopped for hepatitis B and other things because it won't save lives. Quackery. That measles vaccine causes autism. Quackery. So we will look back 10 years from now and we'll say that's modern quackery because the answer is, you know what? It's modern quackery. Quack, quack, quack.
Any excuse for Zorba to do the quacking noise.
Quack this.
Okay, Zorba, what did we learn today? We learned about probably not a good idea to give your kid a smartphone before the age of 12.
Yeah,
and there's
not a good idea at all.
concrete study
You bet.
behind that, backing that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good for. I can't wait to bring that study to my 10-year-old who wants one so badly. You helped out a caller with his itching. We heard a mom joke. We heard about Zorba's horse adventures.
Yes.
That was kind of nice. And Zephyr, his horse right now that he's with. And you helped out a listener with sleep apnea.
Yes.
And also we heard some quackery. So that's
Good
what we do
stuff.
on this podcast.
Good stuff.
Thanks for
Good
listening.
stuff. Thank you. And don't forget to stay well.